What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Beautiful day out here today. It's really nice out. So today's the first day that we're actually stuck due to the crash in the 240Z. And for insurance reasons mainly and legal reasons, and I'll explain all of that a little bit later. So I'm gonna get started today actually by jumping into my BRZ. It needs a little bit of work done. I'm guessing a lot of you guys haven't seen this in a long time, so let's jump into that. Stay tuned. That's what 2 months of hard work and several $1,000s of engine looks like when it's been neglected for a few months. So after we got this thing tuned up, I really wanted to go to the drag strip with it a few times and do some other things, and just to be honest, builds kept coming and more things kept happening, and we just, you know, I felt a level of unreliability with it, and it just didn't get used, which is, in my opinion, the worst thing that can possibly happen with any car, which is why I've sold so many of mine recently. But it's a good car. It looks like it's been hit a couple times. We got a bunch of crinkling things here, and then this one big spider crack right here. The bumper's probably fine underneath. These bumpers are pretty tough, but the paint's toast on it, so I don't know. I like this paint color, but I think it was time for a new paint color someday anyways. The only thing that I'm doing with this car right now is we're gonna pull the battery and charge it up. So I use an insurance company that uses a OBD2 scanner to check the location of the vehicle. It charges me per mile. And obviously when you don't drive the cars at all, your insurance stays pretty low. It's just you gotta keep your battery charged up, or else they just charge you a bunch every day, assuming that you've been driving like crazy, and I really haven't. So I don't wanna pay for that. God, this is a beautiful engine. So I know a lot of you guys are just sitting at home shaking your heads about the neglect of this car. It sucks, I know. It's a symptom of having too many cars. The one time when I had this car, I had like 13 cars. And this car was good for one very specific purpose, which was going really, really fast all at once. And then that was it. So, you know, it's got like no AC, you know, none of the things that you'd want in a daily driver. So I have a game plan of how to get this car back into use a lot, and it's a pretty long drawn out one, but it really just revolves around a manual transmission. This is gonna be my drift car. Then you're asking, why in the world would you buy a 370? This car and this build, to get it into drift car mode, is gonna take a little bit of time. I want a full cage in there for rigidity. I want a manual transmission, and I want some other fun mods to it. But we will keep it around the 400 to 600 horsepower range, and then turn it into a drift car as soon as we get the manual transmission in it. The 370 is for me to drive until we get to that point. So that's the game plan with this car. That's how I'm gonna not have it sit here on the side of the road forever. It'll be a fun time. It'll be a fun time to bring it back. So for now though, let's change that battery out. Small problem with tools. I never have tools at my house because every time I buy a tool set, I tend to break down at home and then fix the car with those tools and then drive it to the shop and end up at the shop. So I was able to find a skate tool, a 3/8 inch open-ended wrench from Harbor Freight, and a kit wrench. Let's, fingers crossed, really. You know what? One harm is just a quick little trip. Quick little Harbor Freight trip, huh? Oh, I love that blue door trim. Always out of gas at the worst possible time. It's so funny to me how it's cheaper to buy new tools than it is to use the gas to go to the shop and come back with tools that I already own. $4, free with any purchase. Got tools for the house for $4. Let's get back to the BRZ. I was thinking on the way home, like I grew up using skate tools, and this was about all you needed to carry around when you're skateboarding, and you could like adjust and fix your board in pretty much any way. We should get something like this for cars. Like 10 mil on this side and like a 13 or a 12 or something like that, and then a screwdriver up here. Like we should build something like that. Make the ends like ratcheting. You just throw one of these in each car. You'd be good to go. All right, battery's out and ready to go on the charger. That is the first of my chores done today. All right, back in the truck. It's time to get back to some work. Oh yeah, I was gonna go to Home Depot and get a garage door, get a new one, at least do some shopping. They don't carry garage doors. Pretty much nowhere does, actually. So I might wanna think about a more long-term plan of reinforcing my garage door until it gets replaced by the insurance company. I just remembered, I gotta update you guys with the insurance company. I have an idea, but I need to check traffic real quick. It's looking like 40 minutes to drive like 10 miles, but I just realized I don't really have an option. I was thinking I could go and do some like streaming and then go to the shop, but then it'll be dark and we're gonna be working outside because we're working on the Z. I wanna go work on my 370Z. So that's the game plan. Let's head out to the shop. Then I can update you guys on the insurance situation on the way. All right, we're pretty firmly stuck in traffic on a bridge, 500 feet in the air. Probably not that high. It's what it feels like. I hate being on this bridge when it's like filled with cars because every time somebody drives by, you feel it flex. Scary shit. So insurance update. I have a claim. I have what's called an adjuster assigned to my case. He has not contacted me, although he should have today, but it's 5 o'clock now, so they're probably not gonna. Hopefully they'll be out there tomorrow. I've stressed the urgency. I've told them that this guy punched a hole in my shop and that they really need to get on their A game. So hopefully tomorrow, if not probably the next day. And basically that's the guy that'll come out and evaluate everything, and if I have a disagreement with him, then we're gonna go to court. But you know, first things first, gonna try and work it out with him. On the Z project, I see 2 different areas for next steps, and I really can't do either of them, and that's why we're not working on it today. One is to take the 240Z shell, take it out of where it is, move it into the shop, suspend it from the ceiling, and lower it down over our suspension, lining up the rear wheel arches with the rear suspension to figure out exactly where we want to put the front of the car, front suspension, engine, placement, things like that. Obviously can't do that because the insurance company does not want me moving those things around because they're kind of evidence of the accident and stuff like that. And there seems to be a little bit of controversy of how the accidents happened, even though in my opinion it doesn't matter, the damage was done. And it definitely wasn't me. So anyways, so I'm leaving everything right where it was just in case as further proof. The other thing that needs to be done is everything in that rear suspension area needs to be fully welded up, gusseted up, and then end plated. Now to do that, I want Eric to do that because Eric is a professional welder. He's gonna know how to get that 100% best level of penetration, so we have the strongest welds on all of those joints. I don't need to explain to you guys the importance of having, you know, strong welds on your rear suspension so we don't blow the ass out of our car. So that's why we're kind of doing some other stuff. Now, if the guy doesn't come out tomorrow, we might have a running and driving 370Z sooner than later. Who knows? I don't want to completely switch gears, but you guys understand that this was completely out of my hands at this point. There is some welding and welding prep that I can do on my end, and we may do that tomorrow. But anyways, that's the update on the insurance, and I will continue to keep you updated every day as this thing continues on, hopefully to a very agreeable handshake and a check at the end, and I could just get my everything fixed. All right, should be the shop any hour now. Okay, we made it back to the shop. Now let me introduce you to my 370Z. Now that we got it here and the drama has kind of calmed down a little bit, let me bring up some more interesting drama, I guess. This car has these weird dents. There's one there and one there, and kind of a creasing that happened right there. And I have no idea how that happened. And you'll notice all the dust is wiped off from that area. I don't know if that happened after it got here or on the way here, or if it was always like that. I just don't know, but I've chosen not to even worry about that. The other interesting thing about it is that I can't find the keys. But the keys are somewhere around it because the car opens up and the light pops on that says press clutch to start the car, and I'm pretty sure I could start the car from right here. So the keys are somewhere, but they're lost. Other than that, it's a pretty stock base model 370Z. It does not have the limited slip differential, which is something that I will change on it. And the only damage that it had was to this rear wheel suspension setup right here. So the wheel is toast. I can't believe it's still holding air, but the wheel is toast and the suspension components are toast on it as well. And that needs to be fixed, and that's what we're gonna look into today. And other than that, it's pretty chill. The interior has got some things that need to be fixed. We got a blown out airbag here that we're gonna go ahead and remove a lot of that stuff and sew that back up. Same issue up here. That's more of like a cut and then push the interior back into place. Other than that, the interior is very, very clean. I love it in here. It's got the nice 6-speed transmission and all that other good stuff. So super clean inside, 40,000 miles, nice engine. Everything looks good. I cannot wait to be driving it, and we honestly could be driving it really soon. So that's kind of what I want to go ahead and start doing now is let's get this thing up in the air. I'll go ahead and get the jack under here. We're going to jack it up, and then I'll do some, and obviously get jack stands underneath here. And then I'll do some inspection on our suspension. I've checked it out before, and I think it's only one suspension component, but let's verify that. pop the rear wheel off, and everything's looking good underneath here. So it's just one suspension component that looks damaged. It's this guy right here. It looks like it actually made contact with the sway bar, which was interesting, and it connects. It's supposed to go straight from there to there, and it looks like it hit the sway bar and just kind of wrapped around it. The last time I had a Z with bent suspension components, it was the same type of deal. It was a really nice componentized thing, so we just replaced that one thing and we were back up and running. So hopefully this is gonna be the same type of thing. I'm not seeing anything else that is bent or out of shape looking. Now things are unhappy, but nothing else looks like bent. I may have to drop the sway bar to get that thing out of there. I'm not really sure, but let's go ahead and start. So there's a connection right there, and then it connects up to the knuckle right there. I'm gonna start by doing the one on the knuckle because that's gonna allow me to actually get the bolt out of there and send the head of that joint out of there. And then we'll try and get the other side out. And hopefully if we can get it out, it'll be a quick replacement. Okay, we just got the broken arm out of the car. It was really stuck in there because of the way it was bent. I actually dropped down the sway bar as well to get it out. And it's really interesting. It has an interesting correlation to what we're working on with the M5, because this is the toe adjustment bar. So this thing has a bolt right here. You guys probably can't see that very well, but as you, and it has a head that's adjustable. So as you turn the head in like counterclockwise, it goes backwards and forwards in this channeled out section right there, and it adjusts the toe of the car you know, side to side, so that'll push this part closer towards the outside or bring it into the other side. So our toe adjustment for this car is going to be off until we get an alignment after we replace that, because we loosened up that bolt. So modifying that bolt modifies the toe angle on this car. Now, from what I've seen on the M5, they don't actually have an adjustable bolt or a toe adjustment like that, but that was pretty sneaky. You can kind of see it. It's right there. That's pretty sneaky. So I don't know. There may be one like that on the M5, which would be cool too. So now we gotta head down to the parts store and see if we can get one of these ordered in for tomorrow. But before I do that, I wanna look around and see if I can find that freaking key anywhere. I'm thinking it might be on the ground somewhere. Maybe he left it on a tire and it fell down, or it's inside the car somewhere. I wanna hunt for it and see if we can turn this thing on. All right, to figure this one out, I think we're gonna have to go inside the mind of a tow truck driver. Scary place. So you're not gonna leave the key where your customer asked you to leave it, because that would be too predictable. Leave it where the Terminator leaves it, because that would be too cool. Maybe just chuck it on the ground outside the door and go play demolition derby with the other cars. On the glove box, that's for paperwork. Ah! Found it! Found it! It was under the floor mat. Definitely not where I asked him to leave it. Now we get to try it. All right, well I guess even the base Model Zs have keyless start, so let's just try and keyless start this thing. Clutch in, hit the button. Oh, no, okay, hit it again. Oh yeah, we even had battery power to get started. Hey, will it run? Yep. Oh, I love those gauges, look at that. Got the temp, got the battery, alternator's running strong, got a clock. This gauge pod, this overall interior is very, very nice. Now I know that there's probably a version that has like some cool stuff in there and whatever, but I don't really need any of that fanciness. Bluetooth would be nice, probably doesn't have that at all, but I have an auxiliary input. I guess you could just replace this with a nice little double din and then you'd be good to go. Yeah, and I bet you we have air conditioning. Whew. Water temp. Water temp? Does this car have water temp twice? Oh, I cannot wait to uncork that exhaust. It's gonna sound so good. Even the door handles are fantastic. That's just so good. Nice lightweight door too. Oh man, I love this car already. Well, ain't that just the bee's knees? It starts and everything. Let's head out to the auto parts store. Let's pack up, head out to the auto parts store and see if we can get a replacement for this guy. Maybe I could drive this thing tomorrow. Just found out something interesting. So when I found the keys under the floorboard, there was also the delivery invoice, a piece of paperwork, and it let me know who dropped off this car. It was the same company that didn't understand how brakes work in a Mercedes, dropped off this car, and then those two things show up. Now, I didn't pay super close attention when this thing was at the Copart yard to see if that damage was already there, but how it's all wiped off and clean, I'm a lot more skeptical at this point now. So what I'm gonna do is tonight, I'm gonna review all the footage that we had on the previous episode that included this car and all the pictures that Copart had, and see if I can see signs of that. And if I don't, then when the insurance guy comes here, we're gonna have to talk about all of it, but that's gonna be really, really hard to prove and get any of my money back out of it for that. But I'm gonna try my best, if I can prove that it was them. Just got to the auto parts store, so we're gonna go see if we can get another one of these. It's always tough when you don't know the name of the part, but you know, I'll just bring this in with me and we'll laugh about it. We'll figure it out. Also, good news, I got a call from the insurance adjuster later today than I thought I would, and he's gonna meet me tomorrow 10 a.m. at the shop to go over everything. Now, we're not gonna have a final word until later on when he calculates everything, but it'll be a good starting point. Downside is that's normally my editing time, so we'll have to figure that out. Well, a bit of unfortunate news on the parts front. Normally you could get a part the next day, but this one's clear out in Seattle, is the closest one, so we're not gonna have it till the day after tomorrow, which means tomorrow we're working on the other Z. We'll be working on the 240. I figure since I'm meeting with that guy at 10 in the morning, after I meet with him, everything is free for me to do what I need to do. So then we can figure out how to mount the frame to, the shell to the ceiling and lower it down on the frame. It's gonna be really exciting stuff. So that's the game plan for tomorrow. All right, we just got back home and I want to do that Z investigation that I talked about earlier. So I'm going to jump on a Twitch stream, do it live with all you guys. It's twitch.tv/BisForBuild if you guys ever want to join us on there. And what we're going to do is start digging through all the photos I have from Copart, the photos that I have taken personally, and the video that I have from when the car was at the yard, and see if we can prove whether or not that damage existed on the car at the yard or if that was something new that happened in transit. And then if I can figure that out, it'll be a little bit more ammo for me to talk with the guy tomorrow. All right, so we can see right here, pause it, right here and right here is the damage. So it was definitely damaged at the Copart yard. So there's no more investigation to do. I bought the car that way. Fair is fair. All right, guys, well, you saw it there. The video history does not lie. I bought the car like that. I'm really glad that we don't have to worry about even thinking or talking about this anymore. It's just some more damage on a damaged car that I bought, and we will fix it in due time. That's just tap of a hammer and some touch-up paint, really. Not really, but that's how I'm gonna fix it. So that's about it. I kept streaming for a couple more hours and ate a ton of junk food, so I'm pretty beat and got a big day tomorrow. So I think that's where I'm gonna call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace!